Afternoon, everyone. I'm here today with Ian and Wendy in their passive solar house in Bull Creek, and it is freezing outside. There's this Arctic gale, and we are so toasty warm here today. So thanks for joining us. Ian and Wendy, first question, what's it like here on a cold winter morning?
It got down to 17 degrees,
which
is as cold as it ever gets inside at the shortest day of the year and the deepest part of winter, which is where we're at. And yet, as soon as the sun came up went the temperature, and we're sitting here in glorious 22 degrees, very comfortable.
Yeah, just felt it as soon as I walked into this room, it was just so warm.
We were actually out the front a couple of last weekend, and a couple were wandering past and stopped to chat, and we invited them in for a cup of tea, and they couldn't believe, where's the heater, because when they walked in the door it was so cold outside and yet so warm inside, and they couldn't believe that we had no heater.
So then the other side of it, what's it like in here in a hot summer afternoon?
Summer was absolutely fine. We have security mesh instead of standard mesh on our window. So on summer's nights, we just throw all our windows open and it cools down beautifully. And in summer, very low 20s, so 20, 21 degrees overnight, up to 26, 27 most days.
And you don't have any air conditioning?
No air conditioning at all. It's totally passive heating, passive cooling.
And you've been in the house for a year. Have you missed having an air conditioner?
No. So we have a ceiling fan in our bedroom. We turned it on 3 times over summer, and we probably should have, actually we turned it on twice, and we probably should have turned it on a 3rd time, but that was it. It's comfortable.
A whopping 3 times.
The use of cross flow just by a very small window, we get again this fantastic breeze through and drops the temperature.
So this is a kind of weird question, but why didn't you get a regular one? Why didn't you get a house like what everybody else builds?
A spec house.
Yeah, a spec house, yeah.
Well, the house probably looks more regular than I'd originally anticipated, but so our first house we built on what was known as back then as Mum's common sense. Get a house where you have a north-facing backyard, where the part of the house where you're going to live in your garden, make sure that's got the northern sun. And we had a courtyard at the back that was protected from the winter cold winds, and the veranda over the top stopped the sun from coming in summer, but allowed the sun right into the main living space in winter. But the other part of Mum's common sense was don't get those nasty concrete floors because they're hard on your feet. Get nice wooden floors like ours. So we did get the nice wooden floors, and they were wonderful during summer, and they did capture we had sun coming in during winter, but as soon as the sun went down, went all our heat as well.
They just didn't hold
the heat. So the dark concrete or the dark porcelain tiles on the floor here is the heat bank that absorbs all the heat.
I think again, if you go for the spec house, you don't get the extra in the walls. You've got, of course, insulation.
Yeah,
we've got 2 lots of insulation in the roof. We've got the wide doors. All these things which you don't get with spec houses. The access for later in our lives for wheelchairs and things like that.
The fact that you've gone with the universal design, the idea that if you found yourself in a wheelchair, the only thing you have to do is lower the countertops.
That's right.
Is just a brilliant thing.
Other thing about this house is the fact of, we touched on it, is the cost of running this house.
Yeah, run by those numbers, because those were stunning.
Yes, so in the first 12 months in this house, we've averaged it out, and that's been reduced from $110 a month to $40 a month. We no longer have solar panels on the roof. We've gone totally electric, and we have a solar hot water system, which means we're not paying for our hot water anymore. But so we may get around to putting solar panels on, but at $40 a month, it's pretty difficult at the moment.
Yeah. Now, do you know how much it cost you, the total build cost?
A bit under $270,000, including site costs.
I think, I mean, if you go get a spec house, yes, you can get one cheaper.
Maybe.
Yeah,
For a
let's be honest,
4-bedroom,
you can.
2-bathroom house, you could probably get one cheaper, but would you get one the same size cheaper? I don't know. Would you get an individually designed house that suits your needs precisely? Add another $100,000 to that, from about $350,000, you might get something built, and then add to that the fact that this house is built with all sorts of added extras due to its passive solar and universal design, that most spec homes, if you go to a spec builder, even if it's an individual design, oh, I'd like to change this to add wider doors, okay, that'll be $750 fee plus the cost. We found that working with our builder was really good, and we could chop and change, and if we added something, it added whatever the cost was. If we took something away, it took away whatever the cost was. So it worked out really well for us. We didn't go with the grey water provision, although that's normally a standard thing, but we saved, because there's only the 2 of us. If we were 4 of us living in the house and we had a growing family, we would absolutely have done that. But with only the 2 of us living in the house, we decided to remove that. But we used that money to put in a gorilla ladder and a loft upstairs, so we've got more storage space in the ceiling.
I've never heard anyone complain about having too much storage space. Is there anything you would do differently?
No.
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 Just one last question. Are there any features in this house that really get you terribly excited?
And we love having this big wide open window where we can, with all the birds outside. So we spend a lot of time sitting here watching the birds in the garden outside.
You better get out of here.
I better get out here. Do you excuse me? Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you everyone for watching.